Well, MBNF has been a big success, I have to say. Without revealing any secret, we might have further collaboration with them. Well, Geneva Watch Days were born out of a contingency, the COVID, which led the traditional fairs to cancel the event in 2020. And to me, I could understand on the one hand, but I was conscious that it would have been a major blow for the years after to be 24 months without any watch exhibition. So I thought about what we should do and whether there were possibilities to have a COVID-compatible format, which was obviously meaning to be decentralized because during the pandemic, you couldn't gather many people under the same roof. So we had to forget about Palexpo or whatever seminar and to make sure that the public, the guests would be spread in many different locations. So decentralization, which led to another benefit, which was low cost, because if you decentralize, you are free to organize your showroom into your manufacturer if you are from Geneva, in your boutique if you have a boutique enough, which many brands do have in Geneva, or like Bulgari, to rent an hotel or a couple of suites, up to you. Additionally, we decided for the first time to do it digital, you remember, so that for Asia, for America, for countries who are still under lockdown, the possibility to discover the news at the same time as the people physically present in Geneva during the event. And the fourth dimension was open to the public. For decades, the public had lamented that they were not allowed into the watch fairs or only on Sunday paying a high fee. So we decided that we would open to the public every day for free. And last but not least, we got the support immediately and very reactively and boldly of the Geneva Republic and City, who became the main partners supporting our efforts. And this allowed to run a watch event in Geneva, eventually in August 2020. After reporting the dates 3 times, because initially we planned for May, then for June, then for July, and eventually the COVID disappeared in August, and we ran it in August. Then the feedback was very positive. So the brand participating, 12, asked us to continue. But beside that, many other brands asked whether they could join. So we started to think and realized that the dates were fantastic. It was right before Golden Week, Deepawali, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. So a very favorable moment to create buzz around novelties because clients are particularly desiring beautiful watches for those events. And we were conscious as well that one fair only, Watch and Wonders, maybe was not enough to showcase all the novelties for certain brands, and that we could afford probably in Switzerland to have 2 events in 2 different periods with 2 different concepts and also different brands, because most brands coming here are not in Watch and Wonders, and most Watch and Wonder brands are not here. But some are, Ulysse typically, or Gerard Perregaux are doing both, or Moser is another example. And then it took traction, and here we are, 5 years later, 52 brands, spanning from very young brands to institutional brands like Bulgari or Breitling or Ulysse, legendary brand who made Swiss watchmaking history like Breguet. So a unique diversity and a unique set of very different and complementary brands, enabling the public, the collectors, the retailers, the media, to really discover a lot of novelties they wouldn't imagine, because only the Geneva Watch Days allow young entrepreneur brands to showcase the novelties, because they have little money, they can't afford Watch and Wonders, they cannot even find space because it's limited, Whereas with our concept, space is unlimited. You decide your space, and the entry fees for a young brand are limited to 10,000 euros. So it's very, very little. I think that now after 5 years, we can already say that it's successful and that the momentum is still going on, meaning by that further brands want to join. We know already, and so I'm pretty sure that next year will be over 60 brands, which is not an issue because, again, thanks to decentralization, we don't have any space constraints. And for the other fundamentals, maybe we'll have to make the 2 pavilions a bit larger, but those structures, are temporary structures, so they can be larger without any technical challenge. It's something which is pretty common. And for sure, we'll have the Geneva Days 2025. So I think that this event has become now the important and expected event, creating a very good buzz to the watch industry without competing against Watch and Wonders, but adding further interest of the watchmaking industry with different angles, different brands, to the benefit of the whole watch industry, which needs a constant top of mind, because you don't buy a watch very often. So if watches are top of mind, the chance that you buy a watch is very limited. If conversely you have 2, 3, 4, 5 events a year, you are much more likely to buy a watch. Well, the biggest challenge is that we had to change something we had never changed in 230 years. It's probably not only in watchmaking, but in any category, the only thing which never changed, because all the chiming watches since the 18th century are using the same melody, which is a Westminster Big Band carillon. It's like if in classical music, we had only one piece of music, which would be, for instance, the Fifth Symphony of Beethoven, and nothing else. And that Fifth Symphony has been conducted by 300 different conductors. This is the story of chiming watches. So I would say even more than the Ultra saga, saga, this has been a daunting task because we had to create a true rupture and a true revolution of something which has never changed in 230 years. So it couldn't be just an improvement, it had to be a rupture. And the rupture came from the collaboration with our watchmasters, together with a maestro of music, ultra bright conductor, Lorenzo Viotti. He is an Italo-Swiss, 34 years old guy conducting the national orchestras of Netherlands. And we discussed the topic with Lorenzo, and he came to the conclusion that we could make something different only if we were changing the concept. And changing the concept was meaning from a linear approach of the melody, meaning that the interval between 2 notes are the same. We would be daring to go to what we call the tritonic approach, which means different intervals between 2 notes, which is a contradiction, which is a dissonance, and which is something which creates a lot of tensions. On the other hand, let's not forget that the Big Band carillon was inheriting its melody from the churches, and the churches had made that melody for functional reasons. It was a call for prayer. So it was not meant to create emotions or enthusiasm. It was meant to be functional and to tell you it's time to go to prayer. For a chiming watch, it's not a call for action. It's a call for emotion. And therefore, you can be much more daring. And therefore, we love the idea of Lorenzo Viotti, and we decided to go for the tritonic approach, reinventing totally the movement, because the tritonic approach with different intervals requires different hammers, different gongs, and therefore a different movement conception. Hence was born the new generation of charming watches with that new melody, which is markedly different from the only other existing melody, which is common to all the other charming watches. Well, MBNF has been a big success, I have to say, for both brands, because basically what we manufactured, they sold half of it and we sold the other half, so it was really a win-win. Without revealing any secret, we might have further collaboration with them, because I think there is an extremely good fit and complementarity with the two brands. We are daring. We like to break the rules, the limit. So it might happen again. I don't say it will, but it might. And then we have all the artistic collaborations going on. This year, the 4 seasons with Tadawando, with Serpenti. We have 4 different dials, which are released every 3 months, corresponding to each season. Now we're going to release Autumn, which is a tiger eye dial, brownish, reflecting the leaves in autumn. Then we'll have the winter, which will be a milky, beautiful mother of pearl, white, like the snow. And then we'll have the spring, because we started with the summer in June. At the same time, we're introducing, during those Geneva Watch Days, an Octo limited edition created by Laurent Grasso. Laurent Grasso is a French artist, very famous for his painting of high-altitude clouds, which are very special. And we have a limited edition. So we continue and intensify artistic collaboration, because as a jeweler, as a high-end watchmaker, we are also creating art. So the best collaboration we can imagine are the artistic collaborations. You know, we recently acquired L'Épée as LVMH, not as Bulgari. And L'Épée is a very interesting brand because it's not a watch. It's not only a decorative, beautiful object. It's a combination of both. So we could imagine with L'Épée, those kind of desk or table or interior design masterpiece of decoration, because they are decorative items. But perhaps they could be enhanced, or we could together fuse some of the Bulgari very specific technologies together with their unrivaled know-how when it comes to bigger clocks and designing masterpiece of vintage cars, rather than all they do, in design. Also because it's a segment where we do not compete, and it's a very interesting segment to my knowledge. But this, is just an idea popping in my mind, answering you spontaneously. It's so recent that it's early to say. We have to discover each other, and maybe they don't want collaboration, I don't know. But spontaneously, I would say L'Épée. Why? Because it's so different from what we do. But on the other hand, it's watchmaking partly, that it could be an interesting match. That's it. Well, the overall performance is good. I would say even very good. Despite temporarily we have closed Dubai Mall because we are renovating the store. We were open mid-October. So this means that from mid-October, we'll grow even better in the GCC. And then within GCC, we have different trends. We know that since VAT was introduced at 15%, Saudi has become more difficult, and Saudi tend to travel to UAE or other countries to make the luxury purchase. So if I take the region as a whole, it's growing nicely. When I go country by country, obviously you have discrepancies. You have growing strongly, also because like Dubai, they benefit from tourism, not only Saudi, by the way, international, and also like Saudi, we have a kind of built-in VAT penalty driving their clients to shop abroad more than before, and making the business a bit more difficult. So it's a mixed bag, but the region is important first and growing second.